welcome to my session. So, huge numbers of people. So, it's greater than I expected. Because at the same time, there is the which flow. I don't know which flow, but the weight juice, the AI under the food session is right there. So I thought that this session is like 5 people around that. So you guys are brave enough to skip the AI session. Thank you so much. So I would like to start by evaluate your skills, discovering superior techniques in Claris FileMaker. This time, I would like to focus on and consider the kind of basic methods that you probably already use. My name is Koji Takeuchi from Tokyo, Japan. Doing FileMaker development, training, building, administrating servers, blah, blah, blah. And normally, I speak Japanese, and it's very common in my country. And sadly, I'm not good at speaking English, but I'm a little bit good at faking it. So during my session, sometimes you guys hard to understand what I say because of my bad accent. Please just leave it. It's not a big deal what I say. And please forgive me if I'm looking at my memos too many times. Please look at this direction, not this. And when I'm not doing FileMaker things, I play the so-so guitar and terrible vocals in a band. But my Les Paul Special, which I installed Bigsby B7, sounds really neat. About the content. I think there are various things that you always do in your own way, such as how to create and separate the tables, or how you always do this when you do this kind of processing in a script. This time, I like to introduce some of the methods I often use for processing and the environment with a bit of background. Like, I used to do it in a different way, but after a lot of twists and turns, I ended up doing it in this way for this reason, or something like that. And so who's the target of this session? Everyone, period. So all of you come to this session, the brave enough to come to this session are indefinitely in right session. Believe me, I swear. And this session is something like this. For example, when we adding some data to return separated text, I do like this before. But for some reasons, like I found some disadvantages, now I do in the other way. This session is not about super incredible techniques. Many of these may not new to you, but I want to share the story instead. And I want to share the significance of constantly improving the basic method, right? So, first one is about flag field. what I'm trying to say is that I want the value of flag field 1 or 0, not 1 or empty. Because empty is not the Boolean value, right? So let's see the very quick demo. There is a number field named flag. The second one has a number format. 0, when the 0, not done. And not 0, done. Either way. And I click on it. The actual value is 1. It shows done. And uncheck it, nothing displays. The empty shows nothing on its number data formatting. So we need 0 value here. When we create the new record, 0 should be automatically inserted. New record, 0 inserted, and it shows not done. It's good, but if I click the checkbox in this state, it becomes like this. This is quite a mess. Nobody expected. Because it's something, but not 0. Actually, this is easy to do with little ingenuity with or enter of calculated values. Yes. As a formula, self equals to 1. In addition, it's a bit like unchecking the default options. Uncheck this and uncheck this. The new record, the value is 0. Uncheck it, 1. Uncheck it, 0.
I'm going to give you applause on that.
I believe that
I've been wondering about that.
unchecking doesn't make empty but 0. Isn't it perfect? But it's a basic. Maybe I think the 0 and I will be entered effortlessly, not 0 and return and 1. What this is doing is evaluating the logical expressions. The value of this field is 1 and replacing itself with the result. If the field value is 1, the logical expression result will also be 1. So 1 will be entered. And if it's not 1, the logical expression result will be 0, no matter what the value is. So 0 will be entered. This way, if it's not 0, if it's not 1, 0 will definitely be entered. So again, it's kind of basic, but this technique is completely original, right? So about processing. The first one is about the sort button on the header of the list layout. Want to make it as a module or library. Not to use a bunch of similar sort script, nor one script, but requires parameters on every single button. The conventional approach is like this, but it will not be demoed because all of you already knew. so many scripts or so many hard-coded buttons. And I guess the weak point also shared already. It's unrealistic to use. And the way I tried for a while, using a script step sort records by field. Maybe it was version 12 or 13. I'll show you a quick demo. It seems it works. Can you see this? It works. Anyway. But I like you to take a look at the parameters. Like this. Yeah. This is better. Order object equals 3 and order equals ascend. Not written in JSON. Looks like this was made a long time ago. So the parameters are the ascending, descending order, and what number object is it. And loop to the next field. And if it's 3, sort. Very simple. But each button has a number indicating its position. And it's a pain having to specify this for each button. In addition, for calculation fields, we can't use move to next field to a calculation field. This step seems to skip over a field that can't be input. In any case, you need to specify either what the number of the field is this, or what the name of the object of this field, information to each button. For calculation fields, you also need to set the object name in the field object, every field object. So it's quite a hassle. So I didn't really use it much. So unfortunately, but this method was a bit troublesome to do. It makes sense? The current method is use the field object to desired field for the sort button and start the script with the onObjectEnter script triggered. This means the script will run when the cursor is placed in a certain field. Execute the sort records by field step with the cursor in that field. This part was the idea was by Mr. R.J. Carroll of Excelsis. Long time ago, I don't remember. Based on this idea, I've improved the surrounding area to make it easier to me. So let's see the quick demo again. This one. So this is the way I do it now, and I've been using it on a daily basis for quite a while. At the moment, I've only added sorting buttons for the first two fields. The button-like thing is a field object. And it is the field itself that is about to sort. This is the field. And like this. it's working. Let's debug it. Because the same field as the one you want to sort by is clicked, and the cursor is in that field, you can perform sort records by field without having to specify the field to sort by. In addition, this script uses icons to indicate whether the data is currently sorted in ascending order or descending order. Clicking on the arrow icon sorts the data in ascending or descending, so we can do it. We can do it, but since it's difficult to click on the small icon, so it sorts the data in ascending order the first time, and in descending order the second time for clicking the entire field object, like this. For this reason, when sorting is performed, the information which field it's being sorted by and it's stored in a global variable. Like this. And whether it is ascending or descending order is also stored in a global variable. Based on this information, we change the display to highlight the arrow icon in which field, and whether to highlight the icon in ascending or descending. And also determine whether the field that was just clicked on should be sorted in ascending or descending order. The number field has a sorting script assigned to it in onObject enter, and no parameters on it. Because the thing we are clicking on is a field, so there is no need to tell them by a parameter. In addition, since ascending and descending orders are also determined from the current state, there is no need to specify them as a parameter. This is almost all of the explanation, but since it is a field, it will look like it has been selected when clicked. Or we might able to see the field value, and there are some minor problems that need to be solved. We actually try to do it. So I will also touch on that a little. First of all, in this case, the font size is set to 1 point. I can almost hear you saying, "Oh, not that again." But yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's not about technology, but about width. In addition, set the baseline offset to -10 or something. So if you do this, the starting point for displaying text will shift upwards by 10 points. So it will try to display the text around here. So it won't be displayed. And by setting the font size to 1 point, it will look like this. Look like this. And not look like a field that you would normally use. So it will be easy for developers to recognize that it is a button. Also, since it is set to 1 point, it can be said that an offset of around -10 is sufficient to make the field value invisible. Also, in the control style section, check the box for show vertical scroll bar. If we can't check this box, when we click on a field that has a lot of text in it, the field frame will expand. So in addition to that, set the scroll bar display option to when scrolling instead of always. If we don't do this, the scroll bar will be visible when you click on it, and which feels a bit strange. If we do this, we can use it as a button without any discomfort. So set this format as my style and use it by copying and pasting. So next, we'll display the icon here, which is basically a button bar. Since it's grouped, I ungroup it. To show you what's going on. So like this, we will place two button bars with different colors on top of each other. And this button bar, the icon filling it's made translucent with 50% opacity, so that the background shows through. The other button bar, the lower, this is not like translucent. And this square in the middle is the same field object as the button-like fields. And I'm using this as a conditional blindfold. Normally, the field is filled in with gray color. With conditional formatting is looking at the value of the global variables. And in this case of this left field, I'm currently sorted by my own field, and it's in ascending order. So it's making the field feel transparent. This way, the blinders in between will disappear. Then I mix the colors of the translucent icon above the button bar and the blue icon below it, it will be displayed. Complicated? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But once we've set it up, we can just copy and paste it and again and again. So the only thing that's complicated is the first time. And just like we use fields for the sort button, if we use the same field for the icon display, we don't have to specify this field in the calculation formulas. So when using this button, we don't need to write any formulas or anything. We can just change the assignment of the free field objects. For example, if we want to duplicate this number to name first. Name first. Okay. And reassign the duplicated parts. The name first field, and these two blindfold fields also reassign to name first, and then it's working. I'm so happy. So it's working perfectly now. no parameters at all. Isn't that cool? I think I've been using this for about a decade or more, since I have no particular. And I've been using the same script I wrote at the beginning. Since I have no particular complaints about the specifications or the way it works. But if I look at this script now, I'm not a big fan of the way it's written, maybe. And so I feel like I want to rewrite it. So I try not to look at it too much. Well, even if I rewrite it, maybe it won't be a big deal anyway. It's because it's very simple. So the technical summary of current methodology is the use field objects instead of button objects. And by using the same field as the target field, then you can specify the field without parameters. Set the format of the field used as a button. And make variables for the display of the indicator icons by set of field and transparent icons divided by a field object of same field. And sometimes mix the color of conditional formatting to indicate. This is my favorite one. So next one is the save and restore the current font set. How many people already doing this, save and restore current font set? Quite a few. I'm feeling lucky. Thank you so much. So this is, sorry. This is not about remembering the search criteria and performing the same search again. It's about saving the state of the found set as they are, including the sort state and current record. Then once the found set have been collapsed, we restore them to their original state from the saved found set. Some of you might already know, as I mentioned, but let me tell you my stories. So this technique is not by my original idea, but I learned it from someone called Shin Inagawa. I guess some of you in this room remember her. Well, I wouldn't say I learned it from her, but rather that she came up with it while we were developing something together. Even though I say it's not the old way, there's actually no way to do it, but if I had to say, the snapshot link function is probably closest to this requirement. It's a function that not only reproduces the found set and current record, but also the position and the size of the windows. However, this is a function that saves a file, like a snapshot link document somewhere, and then reproduces the saved state by opening that file. So it is not possible to save the found set freely in the flow of the user's operation and return it when you want to return to it. In fact, I tried to do it using this function, but it didn't work very well. But last year, I heard some variations of using snapshot link feature by Mr. Johan Hedman, such a gentleman of Square Moon, to managing multiple state, and it was great technique. But I still think that is a different way for different requirement. So not this way, but I'm going it now is, first of all, where are the font sets stored and the sort status and current records stored and remembered? This is maintained for each TOs. Even for the data in the same table, in a different TOs, it is a different font set. You knew it, of course. The idea is to create another TO in the same table. This TO is used to store the font set. Since the purpose is not to refer to data mutually, the relationship is not connected. And we'll also prepare a layout with this TO assigned to it. Next, we'll use the TO and layout we created for saving to create a script for saving the current font set. First, we have to make a script to save the current font set. The important thing is the go-to related records in the first line. In this step, we will move the layout we are currently seeing. That is the font set of the TO you're currently seeing to another TO. Right now, we are seeing the one in the upper right. I am operating with the layout called list contact, assigned to the TO called contact. And I want to save the font set that we see in this layout. So what do I do in this step to go to related record? From the TO contact that I'm in now to contact. That is, the setting is to move towards itself. And this show record using layout is not the layout that you're currently in, but specify the layout of the TO to which we want to save the font set. If we do GTRL to myself like this, and the layout that displays the result is my own layout, nothing will happen. But if we change the layout displayed here to another TO in the same table, we can reproduce the current font set as it is in another TO. The same logic applies when restoring the font set we have saved. First, switch to the layout of the other TO where we saved the font set. From here, do the same GTRL in the opposite direction. By opposite direction, I mean go to the other TO itself that is assigned to the current layout and specify the layout that you want to reproduce, the original layout. For the layout that displays the records we want. So some of you don't really get what's going on, do you? So let's take it, let's try it on a quick demo. This one. It's a table like an address book. There are 20,000 records in total. Let's try searching here. First, when we search for Roma and stateful, the number of font set is 451. Sorting further and sort it. And with this font set and this sort state and the current record will be the second one, Miss Ferdinanda, is the current record. There are 451 font count, and they have been sorted. So let's click the Save Font Set button here. But before we do that, let's take a look at what preparations have been made for this file. On relationships, this table occurrence called contact is the one assigned to the layout we are currently seeing. And there's another one called contact store found set. This is also assigned to the same table named contact. And these two TOs are not connected by a relationship. Even if they were related, there would be no harm in storing the found set. But we are not using that relationship, so there is no point in relating them. The layout assignment as follows. List contact is assigned to contact TO, and store found set assigned to a store found set. The steps for go to related record of the save found set script as follows. The source of the related record is target to TO, but I'm specifying myself here. And the layout used to display the record is the layout named store found set. So here, we can choose the layout named contact store found set, which is the same table but assigned to the different TO. Let's take a look how it works in practice. First, let's see what the layout store found set is like at the moment. As we have not done any finds here, the found set is all records and they are not sorted. And the current record is the record number 1, Mr. Claudio. I'll try running the script save found set in the original layout. When we perform the GTRR, the found set from the original layout has been reproduced in the layout of store found set. The found set has the 451 records which has been stored, and the current record is Ferdinanda, the second record, and sorted. Now we will return to the original layout. I've saved the found set in the layout, or TO, on the other side, and return. Now I will collapse the found set in this layout. All records, and there is no sorting, so they are unsorted. The current records will be first Mr. Claudio. So we will restore the found set just saved here. If we switch to the layout where we saved the found set earlier, this is still in the state that was saved earlier. Even if you do something like showing all records in the original layout, it doesn't affect it, because this layout is assigned to the another TO. We have now restores the found set we saved earlier. It has been sorted by 451 records, and the current record is Miss Ferdinanda, the second record. Again, some of you might already know this, but still, this is pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. It's not an exaggeration to say that this is a rock and roll process. One of the best things about this method is that it doesn't become a processing bottleneck in terms of speed. And we can save and restore the found set instantly, no matter how many records we have. I thought it was amazing too, and I've been using it ever since, and it's still just as convenient as ever. In actual use, it may not be something like placing buttons and for saving and restoring on the layout. and saving the restoring manually. Not like that, but something like embedding it in a generic find request to saving find results, or restoring previously saved found set when there is a find error or something like that. Or it could be used like this. In this layout, when we perform find, if the number of search results is not 0, the found set of the search results are automatically saved. Like this. I use the trigger on mode enter to call the script that saves the found set. But it does not respond in find mode and preview mode, so it is basically assumed to be called when a find is performed from the find mode and goes to browse mode. So I'll try some finds. Emails to A, perform find. There are 4882 search results. If you look at the layout of the destination, this is also 4882. So you can see that it is automatically saved here as well with the current find. And this search box, which looks like it's been added on, is programmed to work a little differently from the normal quick search function. You can see in the status toolbar above, the standard quick search function only finds from all records. But this search box works on the principle of narrowing down from the saved found set. Let's see how it works. 1990 return. If I type in 1990 and press the return key, the number of found set will be 79. And if I enter /02, the search result will be narrowed down to only those records that have information for February 1990. Now, if I clear the search results using the cross button, I want to return to the original 4882 found set, not all the records. The search box is set up to handle this. When narrowing down using this search box, the found set are not saved, and you can return to the original found set at any time using the cross button 4882. As you can see, we returned to the original found set before narrowing down the search. Now we've narrowed down the search by specifying Roma. We have 451 records. Not now, A and Roma here. Oh yes, 221 records. And clear it again, 4882 records again. This seems simple, but it's not possible to achieve this unless you can freely save the found set and return to it like this. Now, let's take a look at the contents and see how it's actually done. This script is called from various places as a common process for saving, restoring found set. It is assumed to be used, but it is very verbose, and it's difficult to call it general purpose process. because this GTRR sets is not designed to be generic or dry use. The layout of the destination can be specified by a calculation formula. So it is possible to write in an abstract way here. But since the destination TO can only be specified statically using a pull-down menu, it cannot be abstracted. Since the destination TO can only be specified statically using a pull-down menu, it cannot be abstracted. So if the current TO is somewhere like this, else if, the only way to do this, to execute in an else if steps, is not very cool. But there's nothing we can do about it at the moment due to the specifications. If we could write calculation formula here, not only in the layout specification, but also in the TO specification part, I think the world would be a much better place than it is now. I actually posted this idea to the community before. This file is going to be distributed to everyone. But you can also access it from the script menu if you perform vote. The post with that idea will be displayed. So if you like it, please vote for it here. So raise our points. Now we have only 680 points. It's not enough, I believe. Sometimes the 30,000 points could be ignored. The 680 is not enough, far enough. Yes?
Just to clarify, when you're searching on that found set, when you're searching on the found set, well, let me put it this way. When you put your cursor in the search box that you created, are we searching on the entire table or that 4,880 records? Is it a subset?
At that search box, it constrains the found set, not from the all record. Yes. Yeah. And every time we search at the search box, so every time we restore the original found set and constrain. And hitting the cross button just restored. And every time it says restore and constrain. Here. So please put the iPhone from your pocket and read this QR code and please follow it. Yeah. To make the world better. Why is only 10 minutes remaining? I don't get it. The next one is I will show this real quick. This is about the process, so-called incremental search function we just saw. By adding the steps of saving the found set and returning to it, we were able to achieve the significant effect, but there were also twists and turns. In terms of how to achieve the basic points other than that. When I first made this kind of processing, I put a button next to the search field and made it so that clicking this button would perform the find. To solve the problem of do I have to move the mouse pointer over and click it every time? I managed to do it by assigning the tab order to the search button. When I press the return in the search box, the search button that corresponds to the next tab order becomes active. So I hit return again, the button will be pressed. Well, I could say that this is fine, but when we actually search in a box like this on the web or in the Finder or Explorer, we don't have to press the button to confirm the search criteria. And this behavior becomes possible with the introduction of script trigger in FileMaker version 10. At first, I was using onObject modify to perform it. OnObject modify responds to just one character type. At first, I thought that was convenient. And then I started to think that maybe it wasn't. When I type one character, the search runs. And after I get used to it, it can feel a little annoying. No matter what I type, the search runs every time. So it felt like, please wait for me to finish typing everything. In addition, when I type Japanese character, it's very common in my country. Rather than the numbers of Roman letters, it doesn't respond until I do kanji conversion. You may not know, but so there was a sense that the field of use was a little unstable. After a while, I stopped using onObject modify and started using onObject save to call the process. This works well. OnObject save does not respond while I am in the middle of entering something, but it responds when I am about to leave the field after I have finished entering something, and so I can use the tab or return key to perform it when I have finished entering the search keyword. Also, to make things a little more complicated, onObject save is different from onObject modify, and that script is called before the triggering operation is performed. So we can cancel that user's operation at the end of the script. For this reason, if the script is called when the user tries to leave a field, but the script does not allow the user to leave the field even if the script is performed, which has the advantage of making it easier to keep the cursor in the search box even after the search has been performed. However, there was unexpected weakness in onObject save. If you just type something in the search box and leave the field before you perform find, it's dangerous if you do something else. If you just type something in the search box and then click some other button on the same layout, regardless of the situation where if you leave this field now, incremental search will run. The script assigned to the button you clicked will run. As a result, if a step that involves leaving the field is executed, such as changing the layout, moving the records, or simply committing the records, the incremental search will run as an interruption at that point. The incremental search will run in the background. If this happens, the script called from the button will probably not work properly, as the found set will change in the middle of the script. As a result, the current record will also change. Or rather, it's a very scary thing where you don't know what kind of crazy result you'll get. So on-object save works very well on its own, but it's actually too dangerous to use. I moved on to a different method. So the way I do it now is I made it so that it's run when on-object keystroke is executed, and it works very well. On-object keystroke will respond when a key is pressed, but it is also possible to determine what key was pressed within the script. Therefore, it is easy to make it so that it only responds when a key is pressed that indicates the intention to complete the input and search, and to ignore other keys as being the action of entering keywords. On-object keystroke is also a type of trigger that is kicked before the user's operation is reflected. So it is easy to control the active field in the same way as on-object save. And on-object keystroke only responds to key types, and only to key types that occur when the cursor is in that field. So even if a button is pressed while you are typing, it will not interrupt the script called the button in the middle of the script. In addition to being able to control whether or not to perform based on the keys that are typed, maybe only runs when return, enter, or tab is typed. In addition to pressing the cross button to clear the search results, it is also possible to make it flexible, that when the escape key is typed, it clears the keywords in the same way as when the cross button is pressed. As we can see, after a lot of twists and turns, I am currently using the on-object keystroke for this kind of movement, but so far I have no complaints. 1 minute remaining. The next one, I can't. They're real quick. It's about the controlling UPS and make it forth closing the FileMaker server files. It looks like I can keep the talking a little bit. I don't know, but I try it. On FileMaker server, if the power goes out, the UPS switches to battery power. After 3 minutes, it shuts down FileMaker server process safely. I want to do that. And for Windows and Linux, there are some software for this purpose. Yes, then it's no problem. But on the Mac server, the software is out of date. That is a problem. So I established a method that uses only the macOS standard energy saving settings and shell scripts. And I am currently using this method while when using a Mac as a server. These are the 4 things we need. Most UPS units may not come with one, but they're not hard to get. And the most important thing is a shell script. I'll show you the contents later, but it's very simple. And LaunchD plist is a process management system of a Mac OS. And in this case, it is used to automatically execute this shell script when the OS starts up. Now, this is also a very simple thing. The energy saving settings are used as a trigger for this process. When you connect the UPS to the USB port, a tab appears that allows you to set things like how many minutes to wait before the system shuts down or something like that. So we want to use this shutdown as an opportunity to execute the shell script. So, however, this story has a complicated processing structure, so I've tried to illustrate it. First, connect the UPS to your Mac and via USB. Set the energy saving settings to something like shut down the system after n minutes of battery operation. The next prepare a LaunchD plist that the prepare shell script is executed as startup. When the power outage occurs, when the system tries to automatically shut down according to the energy saving settings, the script receives the signal to shut down along with the system shutdown. The script uses this as an opportunity to close the FileMaker server files safely and then shut down the system. Let me show you the script itself. Where is it? Where? Okay. The script uses this as an opportunity to close the file. The content of shell script is like this. There are 2 functions, shutdown and startup. When the script is run, startup called first. But this startup function does not stop doing nothing senselessly. Normally, we run the script, it will run to the end and then finish. But here, it doesn't finish and goes into a waiting state. This is something that has as little execution load as possible and is a good way to just stop and wait based on the judgment. And we have set up the trap to catch the shutdown signal from the OS before it stops. If it stopped in this state when the OS tries to end the system, it will send a shutdown signal to this script to tell to end too. And the script will then execute the shutdown part here by catching the trap. So if you want to run something when the OS is shut down, we can just write here something, what we want to run when the OS is shut down in the shutdown section. The important part is just this line, and the other lines are just for leaving a log. In this case, it is just executing the command to forcibly close the FileMaker server files that are running on this host itself. But if you have multiple servers running it on an environment like this, we can send a command to each server to perform this and then shut down from this part. To be honest, in recent years, I've often been using cloud services for all my servers, including FileMaker server. So I haven't really had much case of working with the UPS in the latest environment. But recently, I've had the opportunity to work with on-premise Mac servers, one after another. It's a method I've only recently come up with, but it's very simple. And once we've written the script once, even if we take it to another server, the only part we need to change is the FileMaker server username and password. So it's very easy to set up. And recap. As you have seen, there are various ways to achieve the same results. Even if you've been doing something a certain way for a while, you may find something new if you take a fresh look at it from time to time. In fact, the standard mechanisms that come up frequently during development can have a big effect when they are improved. And they may even lead to breakthroughs that help you in the future. Please keep improving on your own standard techniques while having fun. Thank you so much.